Welcome back to another Cup review with Unconformed. Let's get straight into it. We're going to start with our man of the match, Connor Bradley. He keeps impressing me every single week. The way he gets forward, it doesn't look like he's a youth player. It doesn't look like he's a young player coming into the number one team in England right now, right? He's fit straight in. And I'm going to be honest, when Trent got injured, I got really worried about if we were going to be able to hang on, where our creativity was going to come from. And a lot of that stuff ended up getting quelled in a lot of different ways, not mainly through Connor Bradley, because we actually haven't been building through Connor Bradley, like how we build through Trent when he's on the field. We found other ways, which is really great because it shows that Liverpool is not a one-trick pony. You know, typically we go through Trent and then we find Salah, and that's where a lot of our goals and our productivity has been coming from before they went to, international duty and got injured and whatnot. So it's really interesting being able to see Connor Bradley step into this team and almost play as a wingback or as a right winger, especially in this game. He got forward a lot and really didn't let anybody on that right-hand side get past the halfway line. It was interception after interception, tackle after tackle, and close control and defensive awareness and offensive awareness. He was by far the best player on the pitch, like by far. Obviously, Diogo Jota, who we'll talk about in a little bit, was phenomenal. But Connor Bradley is a special player, and I think we could see that formation that Klopp was using there. Obviously, he's not going to be here after this season, but you could see that formation being used more times this season on low block teams that want to counterattack, like Norwich did when he brought Trent on in the at the end, and Trent did play in that inverted role where he was kind of drifting in and out of the right back position, but also like going across the entire defensive back line, almost like a quarterback six, which we've seen him play plenty of times, and he plays that position a lot throughout games. But I thought it was interesting that Klopp kept Connor on with Trent, and Trent kind of had freedom to just kind of do whatever he really wanted in our half, pick passes, be creative, while Connor almost played like another right wing back, but just a lot more advanced. It was very interesting to see, and I thought it was really cool. He helped set up that Ryan Gravenberch goal, and I think that was totally intentional, the way that he passed that, because he had a chance similar before. I think McConnell played him in. I'm not sure who played him in, but it was a beautiful ball that was played, and he just beat the offside trap and got a boot to it. And I believe Diogo Jota came in, and he barely missed it. So it was almost like a recreation of that. But again, obviously in a little bit of different scenario, but he got a better boot to it, and then Ryan Gravenberch was able to head it home. But Connor Bradley is a special talent. I think he is probably the most talented out of that academy crop that we have right now. But James McConnell, what can you say about that kid? I did not know him before this game. I've heard of his name a couple times. He's popped up I believe in preseason a couple times, and then I think he came in a cup game, I want to say like a month ago. But if Stefan Bajcetic isn't stepping up his fitness and really getting serious about I know he has no control over whether or not he's healthy or not, but his spot as the next young CDM could be in trouble. McConnell looked very good, and I can see Klopp giving him more chances throughout this season. What really impressed me the most about McConnell is his range of passing. I don't want to say it was Trent-esque. It's not that level. Not very many people can pass the ball like Trent. But being able to hit it with his left foot and his right foot and have the same amount of skill in both feet and the same amount of range in both feet, it was beautiful to see from a young player like that. And it's exciting. He's exciting. He's an exciting player, and I'm going to keep my eye on him. The pass that set up that Curtis Jones goal, he just made it so easy for Curtis. And it's just so awesome to be able to see these young players step into their own and improve and get better. Curtis Jones, we talked about him. His finishing, his ball control, his close control, you can tell he just has a swagger about him. It's almost a little cocky, you know what I mean, with Curtis Jones, but I think we need that in our team. And he just pops up with he's a fox in a box. He just knows how to get into the box, into those areas where he can make easy finishes for himself. And he has a bright future at Anfield as well. I'll be honest, I was one of those ones that wrote him off a little bit towards last season, but then towards the end of last season, he started coming into his own, and then he kind of had a little bit of a bumpy start at the beginning of this year, but he's been excellent for us this year. Darwin Núñez. Darwin Núñez is coming into his own. I believe that's 21 goal and assists for Darwin this season. He looked really sharp. He looked really good. Not very many missed chances. He's unlucky to not have two. He hit the post in that first half. But he just keeps getting better and better. You can see him getting comfortable, more and more comfortable in this Liverpool squad and settling in and getting better. So I absolutely love what I see from Darwin. I hope it continues on for a long time, even after Jurgen leaves. Ryan Gravenberch. I had some doubts about him in the beginning of this match. He had a lot of loose balls, was giving the ball away, but he grew into the game. And you see him just glide around the pitch. It looks effortless for him sometimes. And when he wants it, when he has that desire, I don't think there's very many 20, 21-year-old midfielders that can really best him in the world right now. Maybe there's some that you can count on one hand. But I think we have a gem in Ryan, and I think we got to stand behind him and continue to believe in him. Sometimes, yeah, he looks a little lethargic on the ball, but you got to keep in mind, he essentially hadn't played football in a whole year, right? Which can mess with your development as a young player, missing a whole year in those most crucial times in your career, right? In those very beginning where you're building your name, you're building your brand, you're building your style of play. But I think he's slowly coming back into that talent that was up there with Frankie de Jong and that was up there with Jude Bellingham just 2 years ago of like, this kid could be special. He reminds me a lot of Ruud Gullit. Very long, very rangy, very skillful, almost could play as a striker at the same time. Very tidy on his feet, makes it look effortless, right? So I like him a lot. I hope he continues this form, and it's a well-deserved goal. You could see in the celebration that he really, really wanted that. So good job for Ryan, and I look forward to see him continue to improve and get better and play better. Cameos for Virgil van Dijk and Szoboszlai and Trent. The quality, the fact that we've been missing these guys, obviously not VVD, but the fact that we've been missing Szoboszlai and Trent, and we still have been getting great results, convincing results, and to be able to have them in our back pocket and bring them on and just be like, we're not even using our best players. Their best players aren't even on the pitch. It's kind of a scary thought, right? The fact that we're getting results without these guys is a scary thought. But they come on and they make an impact immediately. Szoboszlai to Virgil van Dijk, I want to say like maybe a minute in. This is the kind of form that got me really excited about Dominic when he first came. He just looked like a different class on the field. Makes it look easy. He can do everything. Defend, attack, crosses, long shots, amazing finisher, great penalties, great free kicks. He's the ultimate player. He's an ultimate 8. And if I think he can stay fit, I think he was looking a little tired. A handful of weeks back, he was playing a lot of minutes, playing a lot of games in a role that he isn't typically used to playing, that 8 box-to-box midfielder. So I think it was wearing on him a little bit. So I'm glad he's able to essentially take a month off, get his bearings back underneath him, get his fitness back, and I think we'll see the best of Dominic moving forward. And what can you say about Trent? Trent's being Trent, right? Quarterback extraordinaire, our Patrick Mahomes of the Liverpool squad. So I look forward to seeing what this team can bring together. Big shout out to Andrew Robertson for getting back fit, coming back from a tough injury. Dislocated shoulders are nothing to play with, especially in football when there's a lot of movement in the shoulder. I know a lot of people don't correlate, dislocated shoulder injuries with football, but it happens more often than you think. But excited to have him back. Of course, he's always solid defensively, but I'm really excited to have him back offensive-wise on the left-hand side. But the question is, who do you take out now that those guys are fit? Who do you bring out? Do you keep Connor Bradley and do you keep Joe Gomez, who's done an excellent job on that left-hand side, right-hand side, and center of the middle of defense at times over the past couple months? It's a selection headache for Klopp, and I think he's happy to have that Klopp or have that problem. But It's exciting times at Liverpool. Tough news hearing Klopp's going to be leaving. He will be missed, but the future will be bright. I'm going to be doing another video on who I think should step into the role or who I think is more likely to step into the role. I think there's some names that are out there that a lot of people aren't mentioning and maybe should be mentioning. So I'm excited to get that video out to you guys. That should be coming out tomorrow or the next day. So keep an eye out for that one. Some really good insights. And I'd love to get you guys' perspective on some of my thoughts on who I think is going to be the Liverpool manager next. I think it might be a little bit of a wild card, but the future is bright at Liverpool. We got a very favorable draw for the next round of the FA Cup. We got either Watford or Southampton. They're going to be doing a replay because they drew 1-1 in extra time. But our biggest competitors in this competition, Manchester City, drew Luton Town. And we know that is never an easy fixture. So let me know what you guys think about the match ratings. Let me know, did I miss anybody? Did someone else have an amazing game that I didn't give a shout out to? Let me know who was your man of the match. Who should we be looking out for? Give me your predictions on who you guys think is going to be the next Liverpool manager. So appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next time. Peace.